guys, it's Hannah. Welcome back to another weekly vlog. I didn't film much again this week. Didn't really do too much aside from work. I got some books that I kind of wanted to show you guys. I'm borrowing some from my grandma's stash, and then I also have some that I'm going to give her to read. So I'll kind of go through those and then what I have to give her too. My TBR, my to be read this year is pretty long already because I have a bunch from last year. I kind of went through a lull with my reading the end of last year, and I didn't read anything. So I've got In a New York Minute to read. It sounds like it's a misconnection, probably a meet cute type of book. I got The Secret Sister by M.M. DeLuca. This one sounded good too. It says, it's been years since my sister vanished, but I can't stop thinking about her. Sounds like she was put in a foster care system that failed both of them. And then it's about her trying to find her sister. And then I've got The Counterfeit by Kristen Chen. I thought this book was neat because the side is kind of like the edges are kind of different, or the edges of the book are different. One of Us is Lying, which is part of a series, it looks like. And for some reason I thought this was maybe a movie or a TV show or something, but I'm not too sure. It's by Karen M. McManus. I've got Did You Hear About Kitty Carr? Few Reese's Book Club picks. This is a novel by Crystal Smith Paul. This book reminded me of the Evelyn Hugo book. That was good. I read that a few years ago. But this one's kind of the same. Like, it's about it says a white icon of the silver screen. Oh, hang on. Our vacuum's emptying. Okay. Our Eufy robot vacuum was cleaning around. I don't know if I mentioned her name before, but we named her Cindy after Cinderella. But anyways, I think she's done. So this is kind of sounds like the Evelyn Hugo book from years ago that was kind of popular, and I think they're making a movie out of it, or maybe that was just a rumor, but I think it would make a good movie. It's a white icon of the silver screen dies in her $1 million estate, and it kind of seems like it's the truth behind her stardom and her past and things like that. I did just get this book in the mail. I pre-ordered it because it just came out maybe a couple weeks ago. It's by Alice Feeney. It's called My Husband's Wife. I bought it because Fern here on YouTube, or Wild Fern here on YouTube, she has another channel called Cozy Plant Lady. She often gives book recommendations, and this was one that she had recommended, and then she ended up reading it and said it wasn't very good. It was kind of like sci-fi, but it's about this couple, and the wife goes out to like for a jog, and she comes back and there's another lady at her house, and the woman tries to come in, and she's like, oh, why are you here? This is my house. And she goes, no, it's not. I'm his wife. This is my house. So I hope it's okay, but I don't know. I usually go off of Fern's recommendations, and I'm never disappointed. So if she doesn't like this book, I don't know if I will, but we'll see. I guess I'll kind of go through a couple other books. I've got The Inheritance by Tom Savage. These are books that I got like at a second-hand, like a library book sale. White Elephant Dead. The Idea of Love. I think they were all like $1 or something. This one's called People We Hate at the Wedding. I've got The Girl on the Train, which I feel like is a classic book. Let's see what else I've got. Got The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. I've I've got A Piece of My Heart. It's I read The Women by Kristen Hanna, and I really liked the book, and I thought it was interesting to learn a lot about, it's about the nurses in Vietnam, the women that were nurses in the Vietnam War. So this one is 26 women's stories who served in Vietnam, and then it has like their pictures and when they served and where. So I thought it was interesting because Kristen Hanna used this book in some of her like reading in order to write The Women. So of that, I have Abby Jimenez, Just for the Summer, which I think this is like part 2 in this series, so I think I need to read the first one before I read this one. So that's why I haven't read that one yet, because I think I need to look up that. Patricia Conwell, Flesh and Blood. That was another, I think, library like sale book. This one is too, The Winter People. This one my husband had, and I've never read it, because I Know What You Did Last Summer. This is another library book, Five Survive. Well, library book I thought, not like library book I'm holding. And this one is too. It's the How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House. So yeah, that's all on my TBR, physical TBR. I guess I have a lot more that I haven't read that are, on like Kindle or whatever that I need to read. Whoa, I zoomed in. Uh-oh, hang on. So that is all the books on my physical to be read, TBR. I do have quite a few books on like my Goodreads that I have to read. But let me show you what I'm going to be passing to my grandma to read. I read this book a few years ago, Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This is probably one of my favorite Lisa Jewell books that I've read. It was really good. The One by John Mars. I want to read more of his books, and I want to also watch this TV show. This book was good. It was kind of hard to pick up on at first because there's a lot of different perspectives. Like each chapter's about a different person, and they don't all line up, but in the end they do. So it's kind of a different writing style, but I overall enjoyed it, and I would read more of his books. This is another Lisa Jewell one. We read this one for my book club probably a year or two ago now. And this one's called The Night She Disappeared. I personally didn't like this book. I think I rated it maybe 2 stars. I just didn't think it kind of lined up well together. I don't know, I felt like there were a lot of holes and just things that weren't explained too well. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This book is good. I also love the cover, and the inside's really pretty too, like the inside of the book. So I got this book. This one's fairly new, I think, too. But yeah, this one's good. It's about a girl who basically was cursed and is just living a bunch of different lives that are all the same because it's just her going through a ton of lifetimes. Let me see, I think it's like everybody she meets, they don't remember that they've met her before. So it's really interesting. Lucy Foley's The Guest List. This is I think this is the only Lucy Foley book I've read. I tried to read The Midnight Party Guest or The Midnight Guest or something like that. I couldn't get into it at all. It just didn't grip me. This one was really good. I liked that there's a bunch of different perspectives of the book and they all flow together well. Because sometimes I like books that jump from character to character, as I mentioned with The One, and this one was really good. We Were Never Here. This is really good. Andrea Bartz. I really liked this one. I think I gave it 5 stars. It was a quick, easy read. Also, I liked the cover. I buy a lot of books, I feel like, based on the cover and the reviews, just because I like to keep cute covers on my bookshelf. So that one was good. I feel like that one's being made into a movie or TV show, maybe. I don't know. And then what I'm reading right now it's called I, Medusa. It's by Anya Gray. It says, a captivating villain origin story, reimagining one of the most iconic monsters in Greek mythology as a provocative and powerful young heroine. This says, Anya Gray brings her fresh dynamic storytelling to one of the most monstered, malaligned, and misunderstood women of Greek myth, imagining all the girls that Medusa was and could have been. I'm only about 4 chapters into it. I'm reading it on my Kindle, and then I'm also listening to it. I don't really read a lot of books on, like, Greek mythology. I'm not big into that, but a local book club is reading this for their book club, and I decided to give it a go. And just after the first few chapters I read, I really enjoy it so far. I think it's a good, like, kind of modern, not modern like it's set like today or anything, but it's just a good, easy, digestible telling of Medusa's story for me. So I'm listening to it on Audible because I had a free credit, and I like to listen like on the way to the gym and stuff, because I can usually knock out a chapter there and back depending on how long the chapters are, of course. So I just started it. I think it's really good so far. So yeah, I think I would recommend it so far, but we'll see how I like it once I finish it. I got this on Amazon the other day. It's you put it in your thumb so that when you're reading a book, you can just hold it with one page and it keeps it open. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. Let's see. I don't know what else I'm going to do today. I think we're going to play board games at my parents', or they're going to come over here, one of those two. And then I don't know what else. Oh, I have a couple of Etsy orders that I think I'm going to work on. And then I changed a smoke detector out because there were 2 smoke detectors, which I think are the main smoke detectors in here. Oh, hang on. As I was saying, there was a smoke detector on the backside of the house, like where the kitchen and the back door are, and it just kept going off nonstop when we would cook anything. There would be even no smoke, it seemed like, and it would just go off. And it was so, I mean, they're supposed to be loud, but it would go off all the time. Every time we cooked on the stove, in the oven, even if it, we didn't see any smoke. Took it down and found out it was like, I don't know, it's like 15 years old. And when I researched and looked at smoke detectors earlier this week to buy a couple new ones, you're supposed to replace them every 10 years. They only have like a 10-year warranty. So obviously that is well past the 10 years. And then I took down the other one. So we have like a hallway, and that one was at one end of the hallway, and then another one was at the other end. And the one on the other end was from August of 2009. Again, way past the 10-year warranty. So I replaced that one out today. That one was easy because it was literally the same one, so I had the same holes and lined that up. And then we have one in each bedroom, and we have 3 bedrooms, but they're on the ceiling, and this place was an Airbnb before we bought it, which I don't think a lot of people have stayed here just because of like where we're located. It seems kind of odd for an Airbnb, and I'm assuming that in every bedroom in Airbnb's contract you have to have a smoke detector in, because everyone has one, which is fine. So I was going to replace the one in our bedroom, but the screws, like whenever you screw into the ceiling, it doesn't work. So I think I'm going to put it above our doorway. I just need to approve that with my husband before I put it up to make sure it's okay. And then, interesting thing is when we moved in, I was checking all the smoke detectors to make sure they worked, and the 2 in the hallway did, and then the one in each of the bedrooms did not have batteries in them. So I don't know if for Airbnb purposes, the previous owner didn't have batteries in them, or I'm hoping they just took the batteries when they moved everything out of here, but that seems a little tedious to remember. Oh, I need to remove the batteries so they don't have 3 extra 9-volt batteries. That seems a little suspect. So maybe if you're staying in an Airbnb and you can reach the smoke detector, check and see if it has batteries, because maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Let's see, what else are we going to do today? Oh, I mentioned I have a couple Etsy orders, so I'm probably going to work on those. And then my husband should be getting home soon from work. He had to work today until like 2. So I will see you guys when I pick up the camera next. Hello again. I am watering some of my plants, and I figured I would just show you guys how a couple of them are progressing. So I don't know if you remember, but a few videos ago I mentioned that they call it notching. So I notched a couple of my ficus just to see if they would branch, and I've had success with one of them so far. The other one hasn't done anything, which is fine. I've got it in a spot where it can keep growing tall. I just need to get a taller stake in the spring. So this is my Ficus taniki, or not Ficus taniki, this is my Ficus shivriana. It's one with like spotting on the leaves. It's very pretty. It's a little over a foot tall, and it keeps continuing to grow up, but I've notched it in a couple places. So you go in about 1/3 into the stem here, and then it's supposed to produce new branches, which I'm happy to report it is. It's got this one right here, which is branching, and then you should do 2 notches, like one lower down and then one higher up from what I've read. And this one is also notching there. So I've got these little leaves, and then I've also got right here too. So I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. I think if it continues to, grow taller, I'll eventually do maybe some on the top, but I'm surprised that it's doing this well and has grown what hopefully in the spring will be some new branches. And I really like when the leaves first grow in, especially these like newer baby leaves, because when they grow out of the top here, they grow in like this, I don't know if casing's the right word for it, but they grow in like a long casing, and then the leaf will start to expand, and that casing will, I don't know, not like tear and slowly fall off, and then usually it falls like onto the other leaves, and then I pick it off. And then that leaf will slowly unravel, and usually when they come out, they're a little, like this is the newest leaf. I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of pink right here. And that's just how the new leaves come. But then, like this is the last leaf that came in maybe a couple weeks ago or so, but it's fully green now. It's just when they're new, they have like a pink kind of tinge to them. So these little baby leaves are nice and pink. I hope you can see that okay. And these too. Here's kind of a good example of how they grow, like how they come out of their little, I don't know, it's kind of like a cocoon, like a butterfly right here. Here, let me try to get a better angle of this. So here's a better view of that little kind of casing that they grow in. And then you can see that just because these leaves are so tiny right now, the casing's not very big, but this one's slowly starting to come out of it and grow there. See, I've got one new branch there, one there, and then this one right here. And that's Maple. She's sleeping on her bed. So this plant, this is my Ficus taniki. It's, I don't know, maybe 3 feet tall now. I need to water it more. I thought about putting it in a self-water planter just because the leaves are drooping so much, but I find that when the leaves grow a little older, they start to kind of, like you can tell with this one, they're kind of drooping just a little bit. But here's where I've notched on this one, and it's not growing, which, I mean, I guess is fine. I would have liked it to, but if it doesn't want to, I guess, you know, I can't force it to. So, I've got a few other plants to water here. I took a cutting from my Chinese money plant. I think that's the common name for this. It's this one here that I've got growing. You can take these, they call them pups, out of here, and then you can, I put it in water for maybe like 2-3 weeks just so it could establish roots, and then I put it in, this is stratum. It's actually for like fish tanks and aquariums, but you can see, maybe, there's, here, let me see, there's some little roots growing in it. That's a little root. I think we got some right there. So yeah, it's growing some. So I've got to water a few more plants. My holiday cactus is blooming as well, and I'm so excited. So this holiday cactus has a couple different colors. It has 3 colors. It has white, this yellow, and then also this really pretty pink color. And I'm excited that a lot of the pink is starting to grow more and have more blooms, because I love the pink color that it turns. Whenever those bloom, which should be pretty soon, I will show you guys so you can see the pink, because I just think it's so pretty. But this is a cactus that is my grandma gave me, and then my husband's grandma, who passed away, his dad gave me part of the cactus that he had from her. So this is called the grandma's cactus because it's got both of our grandmas in there, and it blooms all the time. I know they say, you know, around, what is it, Easter, Christmas, and Thanksgiving is when it's supposed to bloom, but I mean, this thing blooms like, I feel like every other month at least. It is, I mean, as you can tell, it's always blooming, and it's January, but I just think it's so pretty. So we've got like white ones coming in, we've got yellow ones, and then we've got pink up here. So it's kind of crazy how they're all together. I don't know if maybe like they mutate together. I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah, it's very pretty. I love this cactus. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed another weekly vlog. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.